Hello, my name is Andrew. I've been an Amazon seller now for a little more than 2 years. I've done over $2.5 million in sales, and I actually only started with $10,000 in the bank account. This training specifically is going to talk about how to leverage credit and why using credit is a good thing, and how millionaires did the exact same thing before they got rich, and how you're going to do it too. So, first off, before we get into that, just really briefly, I want to go ahead and show you my Amazon sales just so you know I'm legit. First off, this is my Amazon dashboard right here. You can see right here, today I've done over $1,900 in sales. If you come here to custom and you just do 2023, so basically over the last 12 months, you can see that I've done over 1.65 million in sales. Again, I've done over 2.5 million in sales now. It's been 2 years. This is just in the last 12 months. This year, I'm projecting to do about 3 million in sales. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about how we use credit and how I use credit specifically to scale with only $10,000 in the bank. Guys, I had $10,000 in the bank account. How do you think I was able to get to 2.5 million in sales in only 2 years? So first off, this is not a pipe dream. This is actual real experiences. So disclaimer, everything I'm telling you is 100% a true story. Now, keep this in mind. Just because I did it doesn't necessarily mean that you can physically do it. There's two things that's going to keep you from doing this. One, the inability to take action. That's a big thing. Most people just never take action. Second thing is the actual determination of when you start to actually get after it and put your head down and grind. Okay? So if you don't have either one of those two things, or you don't do those two things, you're never going to get there. But if you do have to do those things, then you can definitely get there. Now, let's talk about how I was able to take $10,000 basically and turn it into 2.5 million in sales. Okay? 2.5 million. Now, you guys are probably also thinking too, how much actual profit is that? Let's go over that really quick. So realistically, I make about 15% net, which basically means if we just take an easy handy-dandy calculator, we can take this $2.5 million that I've done in sales, and we can do times 0.15, because that's exactly what I've done. And I've approximately made about $375,000 in 2 years. Now, what's even crazier is, guys, I used to be at a 9-to-5 sales job for 8-9 years. It's crazy. I was only making $50,000 a year at that 9-to-5 job. $50,000 a year. So if I would have worked that job the last 2 years, I would have made $100,000. Instead, because I decided to take a risk on myself, I made an additional $275,000. But what's even cooler is, see this 2.5 million in sales? I expect to do 3 million just this year alone. So just in this year alone, not counting the last 2 years, I expect to do 3 million in sales. Now, I do that times 15%, which is again my net margin. I'm going to make $450,000 just this year in profit. So, if you want to learn how I did this for $10,000, listen up, because I'm about to give you the sauce, the secret sauce. So, the first thing is, keep in mind, every single multi-millionaire, billionaire out there leverages credit. If you guys have heard of Grant Cardone invested in a ton of real estate, but it didn't start in real estate. He started investing in himself and mentors in different places. Also, so you know, and we're on the same page, I have personally invested over $50,000 into my own personal development in the last 3 years, which means I've paid $50,000 total for courses, for mentorships, and for masterminds to level myself up. Because of what I realized is, there's no way I can take this $10,000 and turn it into $450,000 a year. There's no way I can go from $50,000 to making $450,000 a year in 3 year span if I don't get help. That's the first thing I had to realize. All right, so one, realization that you freaking need help. I can tell you right now, you can't do it on your own. That's the first realization. Second, got to leverage. Leverage is our friend, not our enemy. Some people are scared to use credit. I don't know why they're scared to use credit. Leverage, I can't even spell. My bad. So I don't know why people are scared to use credit, but they are. And maybe it's because they had the wrong perception, or maybe it's because they've been in debt before, or maybe because they just didn't handle their situation appropriately. I'm going to tell you guys how I took $10,000 and turned it into 2.5 million in sales in 2 years. So basically, I use leverage. Now let's talk about leverage and basically what that looks like. So first off, I use something called 0% APR interest. Okay. So I teach people basically how to go get 0% APR interest. Which what that basically means is if I borrow $20,000 to buy inventory with, I want to keep this in mind. If I buy $20,000 to buy inventory with, okay, I take that $20,000, put it into inventory, goes to Amazon. When it pays out to me, roughly I get about 30% return on investment. Okay, so if I spend $20,000 and I get a 30% return on investment, which I would say is my average, and that's different from net. Okay, I'm gonna explain this here really briefly if you guys don't know what that means. $20,000, I get roughly 30% return on investment, which means I invested $20,000 into inventory. So roughly, I'm gonna get about $26K back, right? So I made $6,000 on my first round of purchases. Congratulations, woohoo! Now I made $6,000, but out of this $20,000 I invested, I did about $40,000 in sales. Okay, now I got a 15% net margin on that sales, which comes out to how much? $6,000 profit that we just stated. So $6,000 no matter what. You with me? So $6,000, $6,000. So this is the difference between return on investment and net. So now that we understand that, let me go ahead and back all that out and go back to my original point. So 0% APR. Now, once we had that 0% APR, let's just say we got 20K, right? Now we can take that $20,000 and invest it into inventory. So I'm going to show you guys the power of using other people's money for free. 0% APR means we're not being charged any interest. Let me repeat that one more time. 0% APR, that means that we're not being charged any interest. So let's just say that we get, now roughly, I just want to actually use my exact numbers that I got because $20,000 is not exactly what I got. I got about $30,000 in credit. Plus I had that $10,000 cash. So I had about 40K. So I'm basically going to show you guys how I turned $40,000 into 2.5 million in sales in 2 years. So I had $40,000. Now remember, I was getting a 30% ROI, return on investment, which I just showed you, which comes out to be a 15% net margin, which we've already discussed. So $40,000 times 1.3 times 1.3 is 30% return on investment. So we spent $40,000. We made $12,000 back. Okay, that's 30% return on investment. And you're here with me. Now, on Amazon, you can generally turn your money over 6 times at minimum. 6 times. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. Every 2 months, you can turn your money over again and again and again. So that's just one time. Let's do it 5 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last time. 6. Boom. So we took that $40,000, and remember, we borrowed $30,000 of it. This is borrowed money. You hanging out here with me here? And now we turned it into 193. So it's 40K went to 193K. Now we still owe the banks 30K. Remember, this was 0% APR. So what we're basically going to do is we're going to pay back the 30K after 1 year, because that's how long they gave us the APR for. And now we have left over $163,000. Woof. Woof. This is how we basically turned $10,000. Remember, all we had was $10,000 cash into $163,000, and really actually $153,000 of that's profit. Because remember, you can technically take another $10K out that we initially had. So now we have $153K. Because remember, that was the first initial cash that we had. So now we have $153,000 that we made in profit from the first year. So now you guys are wondering how I specifically did what I did. That's exactly how I did it with $10,000 cash. This is not a pipe dream. I just broke it down mathematically exactly how we do that. Now you're probably wondering, cool, how do we go get the 0% APR interest? So this is actually exactly what I teach inside my program. So we use credit cards, we can use banks, we can use a couple of different things to get the 0% APR. Now, generally, we get it for 12 months. So we treat it as a free loan. And remember, we don't have to pay any interest. On top of that as well, what I generally do, and I'm actually going to just go ahead and record everything out here. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my specific strategy that I use from a leveraging money standpoint and how I cycle cash. So I get that 0% APR credit. Let's just say I have that $30,000. Again, that might sound like a lot of money to you. If $30,000 sounds like a lot of money to you, you need to reframe your way of thinking. So, say that $30,000, obviously, we put it into inventory. Once that money goes into inventory and Amazon pays us out, that money is going to go straight to our bank account. Now, this money is now in our bank account, and forgive me for my drawing skills. I'm using a mouse. What we want to do is we want to get a credit card, something called a high cash back credit card. What we want to do is we want to take this 30K here, and remember this is more than 30K. This is actually 39K. We got a return because we got a 30% return on investment. Take that 39K. We want to spend 39K on this card. Okay, on this card right here, 39K. Then we want to put it in inventory. It's going to come out again. It's going to do that same exact cycle that we talked about of how we got to $193,000. And we're going to repeat this process over and over and over again with this high cashback credit card. So by doing this, we're going to do this 6 times. By doing this, we're also receiving a free additional 2% cash back. You know what's crazy? I can show you guys something insane that you probably won't believe. Guys, I can literally live on cash back. Being dead serious right here when I say this. Let me show you this. I wasn't even planning to show you this, but I'm going to show it to you anyways, just because it's freaking cool. Now, I can show you inside my bank statement. I'm not going to do that, but I am going to show you inside my Rakuten account. Inside my Rakuten account, you can see that I have $14,000 that I've made in free cashback. If you don't know what Rakuten is, it's a free cashback extension. So when you purchase it, for example, if I bought something at Pureology and I bought $1,000 of inventory, they're going to give me 7% cash back for free just for literally clicking that button. They're going to give me $70 for free. I also use something called Top Cashback as well. Top Cashback is another extension that I use on a consistent basis. These are my earnings for Top Cashback, literally $19,000 in the past 12 months. I still have $5,600 outstanding that they can pay me literally right now. You can see they've already paid me over $13,000. So the reason I'm showing you this is because this high cashback too is a different cashback. That's 2% cashback, and it might not sound like a lot, but it freaking adds up. Okay, so when I say I can literally live on cashback, I can pay my mortgage, I can pay my groceries, I can pay everything on cashback alone. So not only do I make this much money, that's all this money right here. This isn't even counting the cash back. I live on the cash back. I can just pull this money back into my business, or I can go buy a boat, or I can go buy a nice fancy car. I can do whatever the heck I want with my money. I can take my family on a nice vacation. Now, a lot of people's concern still is, well, I have this $30,000. Great, whoop-de-doo. You showed me how the cash flow works, and you still might be a little confused. If you are, that's okay. This training isn't meant to make you understand absolutely everything in 15 minutes. I'm wrapping this up there right now. I'm getting straight to the point. So you had this $30,000. You start investing in it into inventory. Now, a lot of people are thinking to themselves, cool, well, what if I buy products that don't sell? Well, that's just not relevant. You know, I'm going to tell you why. First off, we buy products based solely on data and data alone. So I actually have another training on this that you have 100% access to right now. If you want to see access to that training, ask somebody. We'll get you access to that training literally right now. It's a free 15-minute training exactly like this training. Super straight to the point. Shows you exactly what we do step by step. Now, this $30,000, also keep in mind too, so it's all based on data, right? So we're buying inventory with this $30,000 based on data. What's even cooler? My team, literally, my team does this. Watch this. You're gonna think this is crazy. My team, before you buy any inventory, will review all of your inventory to make sure that it's a good decision. So basically what I'm saying is, it takes out user error for you. Now it's me or somebody on my team, literally, like somebody on my team, born and bred from me or me doing it personally through my mentorship, is going to review the products before you buy them. That way you have the highest likelihood chance of success physically possible. Okay? So first off, your products are always going to sell. Now the question is how much money are you going to make? Are you going to make a 10% ROI or are you going to make a 50% ROI? That's what we're fighting for. And that's what my team does. So when my team will literally review all your products before you buy them, it's part of my program. That's how we make this thing as foolproof as we possibly can. So when people start talking about when we start talking about big money of $10, $20, $30,000, a lot of people want to start off small. A lot of people say, you know what, Andrew, all that sounds great, but I don't want to put up $40,000 right now. That sounds too risky to me. Cool, sounds good. You know what? We'll start off with only spending $1,000, $2,000 on inventory the first month, and then we'll take it a little step further and spend $3,000 or $4,000. We can even look at your profit and loss statement, which basically show you exactly how much cash you're actually making and how much profit you're making and putting into your bank account. That way, you're making money, so that way you can actually pull the trigger and go deep. That's what my team is designed to do. That's what I'm designed to do for you. So $30,000, we look specifically at data and we review all the products before you buy them. That makes this thing as foolproof as it can possibly get. Now, no such thing as absolute foolproof, but we make it literally as foolproof as we possibly can. So that's the reason we created this. Hopefully all this training was super directly to the point, shows exactly how I scaled from literally $10,000 cash all the way to do over $2.5 million in sales in 2 years, and how I'm going to do $3 million this year from the power of cash, from the power of leveraging other people's money. Like people like Grant Cardone. I'm talking Jeff Bezos. All these people have leveraged money. Jeff Bezos might have $10 billion in his bank account, but he'll go out and borrow $2 billion from a bank because he doesn't want to spend his own cash. Because he understands the power of leveraging credit and having cash on hand. He understands the power of leveraging credit. All millionaires and billionaires leverage credit. So I encourage you, don't let that hold you back. Leverage credit and get after it. Go to the moon. Talk to you soon.